and you are welcome to my channel once again. My name still remains Murphy Ojo, and as we all know, we've been there for some time now, for the last maybe 3 or 4 weeks now. I've been presenting this program, and that is bits and pieces within the domiciliary care. I will say I'm very, very sorry for not being on here last week. It was due to one issue or the other. I'm very sorry, but I believe we continue from where we stopped 2 weeks ago. What do we have to give out today? If you remember, we're talking about medication. We've talked about duty of care, and then we move into an how to report, and now to medication. That was what we started 2 weeks ago. So, on medication, I've mentioned something about you've got to know the regulations that guided you when administering medication. And then the policies and procedures of your organization, you've got to know it. The classification of medication, and then all the hours that is involved. I mean the 7 hours. Some have maybe 10, 14, 15 hours. It's just for them not to make mistakes, which I've got no problem with. So, a lot of things have happened. Some people have even contacted me because of what I mentioned in past program that actually happens to them. And then once they remember what I actually said, it was a bit of a help, that is why I actually created this content, for us not to be able to be making these mistakes. This is, I'm not saying it's a very easy thing, but it's easy. So far you have enough training and you follow the right steps. There is nothing like too big to fail. That, okay, I know too much. I've been in this field for years, so there's no way I can make mistakes. There's nothing like that in social care. You might be so good. You have to pay attention 110%, not even 100%, 110%. If care is not taken, and then you just take your eye off the ball or off the radar for that minute when you're doing your job, you can make mistakes, and this could cause a lot of things. It could cost people's life, somebody's life. It could cost you your own. They can chase somebody. It's a very good field. It's a field that I believe that if you know what you are doing, it's a career kind of a field. So some people attach different things to it, but you can choose whatever you want in this field. You can become whatever you want, but it depends on you. Everything is in your hand. So when some people said, okay, this job is too tough, or do this or do that, no. It's like any other profession. Once you have the necessary training and you follow the right procedures, there's no way, and you focus on what you're doing, the chances of you making that mistake is very minimal, very, very minimal. So that is why I said that we just need to just know what we're doing. This is not a training. This is just to help us one way or the other to wake us up where we are making mistakes. Because there are a lot of mistakes being made in this field, loads. It's because that sometimes it's something that you can, okay, people can be disciplining or do stuff, but I've seen a lot. So those are the little things I wanted to wake us up on. Okay, do this way, don't do this way. This is how things should be done. This is not how things should be done. So enough of that talk. As I said, we've got to the rights, all those rights that you need to, that was 2 weeks ago. And I said I will be moving into my shout. That is medication administration report shout. Because that one is another issue on its own. It's not an issue in terms of being able to complete it. No. If you know what you're doing, it's a straightforward thing. Sometimes when people make mistakes, you couldn't have made this kind of mistake. It is here. This is medication. You read, you take, you initiate, and then this is what you need to do. if you receive the right training, and there are a lot of us that have actually received right training, but we do not allow that training to go through us for us to be able to do our job perfectly or efficiently. But I believe if you can follow a bit of what I'm telling you now with your training, I believe you will get to the other side of the thing. You just need to concentrate and to know what you are doing. If you don't know, speak out. Just talk. Nobody will ask you to, well, why do you have to talk? Though I had a very strange experience whereby one borrower was saying that we ask too much question. I don't know, when you do not have the necessary details, why won't you ask question? But because they don't want to do their job. Yeah, we have some borrow like that. So when we talk about MASHAT, what do we mean by MASHAT? As I said earlier on, that is medication administration report, medication administration report chart, where you need to, whenever you administer medication, you need to put it down. So people will know that that client, that person, have actually taken that medication. That is what it means. Before I get to the main thing, let me quickly correct something, because it happens to someone that is very, very close to me. People are still missing something: prompting and administering. There's nothing like prompting anymore. Even if you prompt, you have to put it down now. And there's a reason for that. So far you are prompting somebody. If you take a step back and think it deeply, you're prompting somebody, there must be a reason why you're prompting somebody to take their medication. Probably they're missing the medication. Probably they are at the initial stage of their maybe dementia, or they have delirium, or for any personal thing. So for your organization must have done their own assessment at the beginning, medication administration assessment. They must have done it. They must have known the needs of the client. So if one of the needs of this first stage where you need to prompt them, gone are the days when you don't put it down. You have to put it down in MASHAT now, because it shows that, okay, you see them taking that thing. Even if you don't see that, you've already prompted them, so you put it down, that you're prompting them. So let me correct down, because some people just think that, okay, if I just prompt them or I just pop into their hand, I don't involve anything, so I don't need to write MASHAT, because I don't know what MASHAT actually did to many carers. Many domiciliary carers, they don't like that document. They rather put it in their, in their communication record sheet rather than MASHAT. And I don't know the reason why. Every document I've got what you've got to use them for. Yeah, you might put it there, you administer your prompt medication, but on MASHAT you have to put it there. And it's one of the easiest things to complete. Why they're running away from it, I really don't know. So, as I said, I will show you what MASHAT look like, and then how you will fill it, or what MASHAT should consist. So I believe that would be good. So as promised, this is the MASHAT. This is one of, you can have, many organizations can design their MASHAT in different way. This one is designed by the NHS. They can design their MASHAT in different way. I can remember when I first came into this field, the first thing that I designed was MASHAT. I think the company was actually going through things that particular point in time, and then the MASHAT they had before was not accepted, so certain things was not included. So I came in for the interview. After they said, okay, you help us design this MASHAT. That was the first thing that I did. And with the support of my manager, we actually designed a very good MASHAT, which was accepted by secrecy, local authority, and everybody involved in that company. So that was that. So if you look at what I'm showing you, that's the MASHAT. That is how MASHAT should look. As I said, it can be in different form, but whichever form it is, You just have to consider few things. If you look at the whole thing, okay, maybe I should show you another one. Okay, let me still leave this one. If you look at it, it involves the name, date of birth, the GP name, the allergies. The allergies have still come to that area because most of the time I've gone around that people will just leave it empty, which can be very, very, very dangerous. It could be dangerous leaving that area, the allergies part, because if you don't know the allergies of that person and you check all the referrals sent to you, all the necessary document, you couldn't find anything, yeah, fair enough. But you have to play no known allergies. I will tell you what you need to put there. So that is my chart. I will show you another one later on. So there are a few things that my chart needs to consist of, as I said. The name of the person using the medication, I mean the client themselves, or herself, or himself. Okay, let me show you another example of my chart. Okay, this is another example. This is more or less very clear. If you look at the whole thing, the name of the person's name, I mean the client's name, address, date of birth, the GPT should be there. It shows that this my chart belongs to this person. Imagine you have my chart without name or my chart without the date of birth. Two people can share the same name. Me bearing Murphy Ojo, I'm not the only one bearing Murphy. Anybody can bear Murphy Ojo. But when you have my name, when you have my date of birth, and when you have my address on that my chart, it shows that even if many people bear the same name with me, even if many people were born the same day I was born, those many people were not living the same address as myself. And if it happens to be that, that's another thing that we use to differentiate it. But very when you just have two people living the same surname, the same date of birth, the same address, it's gonna be tough. So that is my chart. What it needs to consist. So if you look at that one, you have the name, date of birth, address of the person. You have the GP name, the GP of the client, which is very, 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 very important in case anything happens. In the case of medication review, you can find a way to get in touch with them. The start date that you start that medication and the start day, there are two now. The day you start it and the date you start it, it has to be there. And if there is any known allergy, please put it there. Imagine somebody I've got allergic to penicillin, and then somebody now, either by mistake or by anything, they're giving the person penicillin, or there are certain allergy that person have got, and you realize that, okay, this medication that they want to give this person have got this, you can raise the alarm. That is one of those things you have to do. That's one of those things you have to do. So, and then you need to put the name of the medication, the form, and the strength of the medication. We all know the strength have to be there. You don't, if they prescribe 10 mg, and then they realize that you have 100 mg there, so you can quickly pick it up. Because whenever you are giving medication, you take up that medication, you see the strength, you compare the list on maybe blister pack to whatever they have on that my chart. If they do not tally, you'll be able to raise the alarm on time. Imagine you have the strength on blister pack and you do not have the strength on, what's the name, on my chart. That is where the problem comes in. That is where the problem comes in. So, and you don't want that to happen. So another one, again, that you need to check there, that should be on my chart, is the dose to be given. We all know that. How many dose? And the frequency and time of administration of each dose. That frequency and even the timing. Imagine somebody with diabetes. For you to give that person medication, you know that they have to take the medication very, very early. So you don't call 11 o'clock to give somebody with, what's name, with dementia, with diabetes medication. If care is not taken, you will send them to their grave early. So another thing that should also be there is the quantity received. This is very important. Most of the time, you will see it at the beginning of, okay, it might be 14, it might be 7, it might be 20, it might be 24, 24 alledonic, 7 this, 8 that, 4 that. So at the end of the whole day, people will be able to account for how many medication of this person taken, how many is remaining, when should we make another another order for the medication or the prescription, if there is any need for that. So it has to be there. And again, a special instruction. It now depends. Imagine somebody with, how do I put it? Okay, as at when needed medication. So those are maybe paracetamol or pain relief. Most of the time, they are pain relief. That is when you have as at when needed medication. So what you need to do at that particular point in time is that you put more information into the mass chart. All these things shouldn't be your job, but it is what you need to look for. Your organization must have filled all these things, but there are some that they ask their carer to put whatever the medication, they put it there in handwriting. I'll still come to that, what you need to do in case you handwritten the medication in there. Somebody needs to certify it that what you are giving is, what you are putting down is correct. If it is handwritten, somebody needs to initiate. So whenever it's handwritten, that is that. So let's leave that alone. So in case of somebody with as at when needed medication, what you need to do is to give more information, give the carer more information about when should they be administering this medication or prompting this medication. You might be saying that it is already there, it is as at when needed. No, sometimes it's not. Is it when they are feeling the pain? Yeah, and if you are giving them the medication, you've got, let's say they will complain to you, I'm not feeling good. All my body is aching, all those everything. And you've been ordered to give them medication whenever they say they are feeling pain. So you need to explain to them, yeah? You owe them that explanation. You've got to, when you want to give them as when the medication, okay, take this paracetamol. This paracetamol will actually relieve you of your pain. This has been ordered by the doctor to be given to you, that kind of a thing. So, but you need to explain everything to them. It shows that you know what you are doing. Some organization like mine, what we normally do is, under each medication, we normally put what that medication does. So you'll be able to, okay, this is the reason why you are giving this medication. You should know everything about all this. That's what I said. Administration of medication has gone beyond, or social worker, domiciliary social worker has gone beyond just wiping the bum and go. This is more or less of a professional kind of a thing. You've got to know your stuff deeply. You've got to know your client. If client is suffering from the adverse of a particular medication, you've got to be able to pick it up. So, okay, I think this is the problem. It might be because this is the sign of the adverse effect of this particular medication. So I don't think This is good. So when you're giving that report, you'll be able to report very well. You won't just pick something from the beginning and then jump to the end, and people will not know what you're talking about. But when you know the name of your medication, when you know what that medication does, when you know the adverse effect of all this medication, yeah, you will see all these things. You might be saying that your company don't have that kind of a thing. I don't know. But what they normally do is that there is medication administration assessment, whereby they will put the pro and cons of each medication in there, the risk involved, and what you need to do. Immediately you pick up any signs, what you need to do. It's always there. So you have to go because it's your responsibility to go through all this assessment. Sometimes a book, it's just like say if you are reading a novel, but it will do you good because it doesn't take time. That's the way I say it. Maybe it's a personal thing. It will do you more good to go through that thing. But even if you can not go through, you will still be able to read your initial assessment. But on my chart alone, you will have assimilated a lot of information because my chart alone comprises a lot. If you look at this my chart, look at this my chart. Look at what it involves. It involves a lot of information that be able to seek in. By the time you are able to put all this information in the right place, you will be able to administer your medication without any problem. There's another one, which is towards the right-hand side there. There is the left-hand side. When you have a medication that you administer in an alternate day, I think this should have been done by your organization, but in case you are the one that needs to fill up the medication chart, demand chart, you should be able to know too. Let's say you have to give them medication on Monday, and they will not take the medication on Tuesday, and they have to take it on Wednesday again. Those days they are not taking it needs to be blocked out. You just block them out. It doesn't take you anything. It's not your own fault. It's not your own things to be running about around. Just block them, provided you are the one that completed the marshal. If the marshal is completed from the office, they ought to have done everything for you. What you need to do is just you need to initiate. That's all. You don't take. Some people won't take. No, you don't take. You initiate each area, each boxes. If you look at this marshal, this is a very clear marshal. But we have some carers who run away from it, who don't want to feel marshal. The reason behind it, I really don't know. Whenever it is involved medication, there is a problem. Why that? I really don't know. But I believe it's because they don't know what they should be doing. They didn't know their job. And some know their job. It's just that past experience sometimes hits many people that they don't know what to do. They're trying to run away from their own job. This is a job that you've chosen to do. You need to know a lot about it. You need to continue to learn every day, every day. It's not that, this is not the job that's okay. You read a book today and that is it. No. Things changes every day, every day. There are laws, there are policies, there are guidelines that changes every day. If care is not taken, you'll be left behind. And then you continue to make mistakes. That is why you see few of the carers who are making real mistakes. They are the ones that believe they've known it all. Those people who want to learn, they always make a minimal mistakes. And when you now make mistake, let me show you the marshals once and for all. And I will leave the marshals area. So I believe we all know what to do. And if your clients refuse, what you need to write there is just under the chart. If it is refused, maybe they have nausea, everything. It's under there. You just put it there. That is what. And at the back, there's always a place for you to write a note. I administer medication. This is what happened. The client reverse it. If somebody see that thing and put R, they check the back and they realize that, okay, you've already put in a note there. What you shouldn't do when clients start to refuse medication is to make it a culture that they continue to refuse the medication. You just continue to write R at the back, and then you can write. By the time they refuse medication first time, second time, when it gets to that, you need to flag it immediately. Something is wrong. Maybe they can't swallow anymore. Maybe that medication, they don't like that medication. It's causing them certain issues. So you've got to flag it immediately, because they're supposed to be taking their medication for an age issue. And if they are not taking that medication for that particular issue, the age will continue to deteriorate. And what's the essence of you being there? But you can flag it off immediately, and a referral can send to the doctor, the GP, and then they can just go and review the medication. It might be just they are not even feeling fine for that particular period in time. Maybe they don't even want to be taking that medication in the morning. But once the doctor comes in, and then they review the medication, they realize what is happening, they'll be able to advise you much more better for you to be able to know what is happening. It's not just about writing R and then write at the back. R, right, is much more easier for you. Even when you don't even try again. Somebody with vascular dementia, we all know they'll be aggressive here and the other stuff. And you don't know how to handle them. You give them medication, they will refuse it. At the end of the day, they continue to write. How will they be able to feel better? How will you be able to see them the following day to be in a very good condition if they're not taking their medication? You've got to raise it. You've got to raise the alarm. Okay. That is that for that one. Let me now talk about, I only have about 2-3 minutes more. Let me talk about, what is it? Error. When you make an error, please don't sweep it under the floor. Don't sweep it under the floor. Yeah, one is bound to make an error for one reason or the other. You might not wake up right. Your brain might not settle. Something might just happen that you make an error in administering your medication. If you sweep it under the floor, that can mean a lot. That can mean a lot. That is gross misconduct. You can be sacked. You can be prosecuted for it. That is why what will lead us to duty of candor. You need to raise it quickly. As I gave you an example about maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when one of my carer then made a mistake, and then the people within the home actually called me, and I went there. So I had to raise it, call the GP, call the ambulance, put everything, report everything accordingly. We did assessment on the client, so just to say the effects of the medication. At the end of the day, we get to the right results. So imagine I just cover it up there. Okay, let's cover it. Don't let us go to the next level. And I've had another experience whereby carer, it was the pharmacist actually, the way they pack the blister pack, instead of it to making it every day, they make it, to make it 3 times every day, they make it 3 times in a week. That's the way they pack the medication. And because it too, the care did not check what you check, because you need to check whatever on the medication with whatever you have in your marshal. If they are not correlating, you need to raise it. But she was not doing all those things, and she continued to administer her own medication, and it's boomerang. And instead of her to now come forward, this is what I've done, they chop everything in the bin. So by the time they went back to the pharmacist to collect another medication, pharmacist told them, I gave you 2 months medication. So you can't tell me it now finishes in 2 weeks. That was where everything just boomerang. And then the truth actually came out later on. So, as I said, I think my time is up. We will continue next week wherever I want to continue, and we jump to another topic. And I believe we are all enjoying this program. If there is anything you want me to discuss, just put it under the comments, and then I will do justice to it. This is not a training, as I said. This is just a mere bits and pieces, just to wake us up from the job we're doing. We're doing a great job. As I always said, it's not easy to leave your house to be jumping up and down from one house to the other. It shatters somebody. It shatters you guys. But I give it to you. You're doing a good job. So until next week again, my name still remains Murphy Ojo. Bye.